He's the tallest man on the radio, so sit right back and enjoy the show. Flying through the air like a ballistic missile. Here's your host, Ben Kissel.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the Ben Kissel channel. I'm Ben Kissel, as always, joined by Jerii Aquino.
Hello, how's it going?
And Kyle Ploof.
What's up? What's up?
We got a new look for the YouTube viewers. Thank you so much for watching. And of course, thank you so much for listening.
Of course.
Olympic coverage. We're still covering it, boys.
Hey.
It's still happening.
Sand beach volleyball.
Oh my God.
Steven van de Velde, the Dutchman that we talked about in the last episode, who
Yeah.
raped a 12-year-old girl.
Trigger warning.
That didn't stop him from being allowed to enter the Olympics and play for the Dutch. So anyway,
Ridiculous.
the team lost, so they suck,
Yeah.
which somehow makes it all worse.
It
I don't
makes
know
it
why.
worse. They were like, no, you guys understand. You have to see him play. Yeah,
Right.
He lost.
So the headline here is Steven van de Velde, Dutch Olympian convicted of rape, gets mixed fan reaction. So some fans were like, hey, I don't mind it. And other fans were like, buddy, we're against it.
I don't think that's what was going on. I think maybe some fans didn't know what was happening and we're just cheering for the sake of cheering. You know, there's the fans that are drunk. There's the
True.
fans that don't really know any background story.
True.
They're just happy to be there.
Absolutely. They're there for the butt cracks. They're there for the cleavage.
Yep.
Even the male beach volleyball stars, they're showing some junk. They're showing some packages. A lot of the female beach volleyball stars get a little bit more credit, for their beautiful bodies. But the men are also pretty attractive and fit.
Probably.
Indeed. So this dude spent multiple years in prison, as we've talked about. In a lot of articles, they say he had sex with a 12-year-old girl, but we know that's not what happened there whatsoever.
Yeah, the sex.
He received a mixture of boos and applause when he was introduced before losing his opening match on Sunday. Van de Velde did not speak to reporters after the three-set loss to Italy, which, come on, the Italian beat you?
Seriously.
We know Mario. We know the Italian. Stature small.
Literally, they got beat out by a bunch of like 5'2" dudes.
Really? I mean, that's pathetic. So, which I'm surprised didn't turn him on. So he says that broke with a long-standing IOC policy that you're supposed to talk to reporters after your match. But he was just like, I don't want to do it.
Oh.
And this is what they said. According to teammate Matthew Immers, he says he's not here because he just wanted to rest his mind about it and focus on the game. So he says he's not here because he just wanted to rest his mind about it and just focus on the game, which I don't know exactly what that means.
Does
Yeah.
that mean not here as in like not here in like a press panel?
Yes, that's what it must be.
Yeah, he's not
yeah.
here because he wants to focus on the game.
Right.
Unless it was someone being like, oh, he's not here because he wants to rest about it and focus on the game. He wants
Right.
to keep thinking about that 12-year-old.
It is very interesting. According to Dutch team spokesman John van Viet, this is what he says when it comes to the decision to shelter Mr. Van de Velde. He says that was made by the National Olympic Committee and shared with the IOC, aka the International Olympic Committee. Asked if they were protecting a convicted child rapist, he said, quote, we are protecting, this is a true quote. He says, quote, we are protecting a convicted child rapist to do his sport as best as possible and for a tournament which he qualified for.
What?
What the hell is that?
So they were like, we're going to get him with this question. You're protecting a child rapist. And he's like, yes,
Absolutely.
But here's the thing. He qualifies.
for beach volleyball.
What the...
He goes on to say, the general matter of sex conviction and sex-related crime is definitely a more important issue than sport. So that's good, not acknowledging that.
Okay.
Especially
Solid.
beach volleyball. There is a double standard, let's be
Weird
honest.
that that's his angle right now. Feels like he's flip-flopping a little.
Yes, and then he says, in his case, we've got a person who has been convicted, who did his sentence, who did everything afterwards, which he can do to be able to compete again.
Oh, scumbags really love hanging on to that too, being like, I did my time.
I did
my time.
Yep.
Well, he did British time. In America, he would still be serving time.
Literally.
Yes. Again, he was convicted in 2016 of having sex with a 12-year-old in England. He served a combined 13 months
No.
Didn't the Chrisleys, in that gay family where the guy isn't gay but he's gay, where the Chrisleys know best except for about taxes and stuff because I
Yeah.
think they're in prison for like 10 years?
Uh-huh.
Everyone, 13 months.
I think Martha Stewart's been in prison longer.
Yeah.
Seriously. And that's why her and Snoop Dogg have such a fun relationship.
It's
They
so
can talk about the hard
fun.
times.
I love it.
So the 29-year-old Olympic rookie was greeted with a handful of boos when he first took the sand for warm-ups. So he was out there and he was like, oh, I wonder what the reaction is going to be. But the hooting was louder than the boos.
Whoa.
So he's got a lot of support out there. He did his 13 months, which is almost the age of the child he raped.
Oh my God.
1 month per every year. Anyway.
That is just the worst. I wonder, oh man, 12-year-old's parents must be really upset about this.
Really, they must be absolutely livid. Also, I will give the French some credit when it comes to the beach volleyball. Beautiful view. Have you seen that?
Yes.
No.
I
Eiffel
saw
Tower's in the background. Very
it.
nice.
Yeah.
Yes, but of course the Seine River, still too filthy to swim in.
Very poopy.
Very full of human fecal. They say 9 times more dangerous, 9 times more E. coli than the human body can withstand.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
There's that much.
Isn't that exciting? So the controversy has caught the Dutch pair off guard. So apparently
Off
they were
guard?
On guard.
Yeah, no, that's a different sport.
Yeah, that's a different
That's
one.
fencing, which I did
shit.
watch. By the way, Team USA, first and second in fencing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Here we go.
That's what I'm talking about.
So I'm not sure exactly if they weren't thinking right or if they were just like, who's going to care? It's only on the world stage. No one's going to talk about this
Right.
insane story.
Yeah. It's like there's more important things going on. Did you see Gajira playing in the opening? Trust me, they're not going to worry about this
Yep.
at all.
The Last Supper where they ate that gay man.
Yeah.
I think it just shows you in the Netherlands, they were just like, yeah, who cares? Like, what questions about this? What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, do you think that this is less interesting than beach volleyball? Of
Yeah.
course this is the conversation.
Right. It's not even just more interesting. It's alarming.
It's alarming. Yeah. He says that they were really surprised because they had a 2-year qualifying period in which Van de Vel's record was not an issue.
2 years, 1/6 of that girl's life.
There you go. Good math.
Wow.
So for 2 years, they're like, I think we got it. We're doing great. No questions asked because they were in the Netherlands.
And he was just sitting there playing volleyball, and everyone was like, oh, look at him. Time served. He looks like a changed man out there on the sand.
Indeed. So, however, it resurfaced after the team played its way into the number 11 spot in the world rankings as the number 2 team from the Netherlands, earning its Olympic berth. So really, they are in many ways a victim of their own success, aren't
They really
Yeah.
are.
Aren't we
And
all?
also,
they? You know?
you know what's messed up about that is like, okay, they can argue that there's going to be only professional athletes and adults at the Olympics,
Right.
but they're practicing in the Netherlands on beaches, which are generally family-friendly places.
Absolutely.
He's just practicing just 10 feet away, 100 feet away
Oh my
from
God.
a bunch of...
I'd be so
You know?
fucking pissed if a beach volleyball player did anything to my child.
Oh my God.
You're a
That's
beach volleyball player.
pretty annoying. Yeah.
So according to Van Vliet, whatever, that's the dude in charge there with the Dutch. He says he has been playing with many tournaments for many years. The last 3 years, never been an issue.
Weird.
And then he says, I'm not judging if it should be or not. These Netherlands people are insane.
They're
and
out
then he
of
says,
their minds.
Yeah, then he says, but it's never been an issue. And now all of a sudden, for them, it's a surprise. Kind of like when you're 12. And all of a sudden, you get that. So
Oh my God.
the International Volleyball Federation has said it was powerless to stop the Dutch. So the Dutch were coming. And they're like, yeah, we got a pedo, and goddamn, can he hit a ball over a stupid fucking net?
Yep.
And we're coming hard.
Blazing.
So, yes, the International Volleyball Federation said it was powerless to stop the Dutch from sending Van de Velede.
Powerless. I love it. Like, no.
Right. And he's like, I'm fucking playing. I'm playing.
It's because he qualified in the regular way.
Oh,
So they couldn't do anything.
we're powerless.
Our hands are tied. Van de Velde, who is not staying at the athletes' village, because, again, we talked about that. He's disgusting, and people are like, can you not be here, please?
Yeah.
Which maybe, you know what? Now in hindsight, I wish he was staying at the Olympic Village because, there's some people in there who just beat his ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like beat them up a bunch, and that would be really fun if, like, the person,
The power lifters.
the power
guys.
lifters,
Yeah.
the shot putters, the people who are in, the gymnastic people who are very strong.
Well, the gymnasts are all like 12, 13 years old, so that's probably why they're trying to keep them
Jesus
away from
Christ.
them.
That's
Yeah.
a good freaking point. They're
Larry Nasser is banned from the Olympics for raping kids.
right.
And this guy can actually play instead of coach.
And
Yeah,
Larry-
but they were like, no, but you don't get it. His job was around kids. This guy's job is around volleyballs and sand.
I forget that. Yeah, I think there's someone as young as 14 or something.
Oh,
playing
yeah.
the Olympics, a soccer player.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And some of the figure skaters, they're like literally like 13 years old. It's
My
insane.
God. But anyway, they were powerless. They couldn't stop him.
Ah, yes, all the loopholes he spiked over.
Yep, he has not been available to media. He has previously said the incident was, quote, the biggest mistake of my life.
What?
So there you go. It was
I would
small-
hope so.
Yeah, you know how that works. Everyone makes their mistakes.
Yeah.
Some a little bit more egregious than others. All right. Well, speaking of egregious, this is just one of those situations where we mention something, and next thing you know, it is in the news. Susan Smith. Do you remember her? She was the gal who killed her children. She killed her two boys, and she put them in a car, and then she sent that car into the water. And then
Yes.
she watched as the kids drowned, smoking a
Insane.
cigarette and just being like, these are the glory days.
This is what it's all about.
It turns out she's dating many, many men in prison.
Ooh.
And this is the headline. Susan Smith's jailhouse suitor says he fell in love with the killer mom.
Suitor.
Yeah.
Suitor.
Gentleman caller.
Yes. But now wants nothing to do with her, quote, because all she does is take. She doesn't
Take
give.
dick?
Yes. So she's in prison since 1994 for killing her two sons. She's carried on many sexual relationships in said prison, and I will say to her credit, she looks okay. Go ahead and give her a Google. So she
my
was
God.
speaking to a man, and they talked for 18 months, but then he cut off all contact last year, despite claiming that he had fallen in love with her. But the problem was, turns out you can't trust her.
What?
Yeah, you can't trust this mom who killed her kids.
That's crazy.
Right? So the South Carolina resident, he's a dude, he's divorced, he's in his 50s, he has grown children, so they're safe.
That's good.
Can't put them in a trunk anymore.
No.
He says he feels, quote, duped by Smith. She duped him.
He's like, I don't even know you anymore.
What? I thought you were just a double murderer, not a bitch.
She is one of the few prison beauty success stories. She looks better after being in prison than she looked like Heather Langenkamp before, and now she looks kind of,
Well, she
Casey
doesn't-
Anthony like.
She doesn't have her kids, and she's getting railed constantly.
Yeah. That's what keeps you young.
I think every day she's just like, best choice of my life.
Breaking a sweat.
So he doesn't want to be named because he's a moron,
Yeah.
So he was like, I was duped. And then he claims he professed his undying devotion. She professed her undying devotion to him. But then it turns out she was having similar conversations with multiple other men.
What? Behind his back?
And that's the worst thing of all.
Yeah.
So this is what he says. He says, she always wanted something from me. She's in prison,
Yeah.
right? And so
Yeah.
what?
Probably like anything you could offer her.
Yeah, any food,
Gone.
stamps.
Yeah.
Apparently stamps are very popular in prison. You need stamps, that's currency.
Well, that's because you can stick drugs behind it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Probably want some heroin as well.
Yeah.
Damn.
So he says, all she does was want something from me. And then she says, we're not men to her, we're marks. Which in a wrestling world means you're a sucker.
Right.
Right? We're marks. She's always figuring out what she can get. It's almost like she's a double murderer in prison.
Yeah, she stopped her two kids' hearts, but she really broke mine. And that's the worst of all.
Well, he really is heartbroken.
Wow.
So the Post, the New York Post is on this story, only covering the most important stories of the
Obviously.
New York Post.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure.
So they reviewed Smith's phone and message logs and verified that the man stopped talking to her last November. And this is what he said. He said, I saw in the news that she was talking to other guys. So I,
In the news, you have to find out in the news. Oh, that's
yeah,
the worst.
it's like when Donald Trump broke up with Marla. And he put the cover of the New York Post. It says, I'm done with you, you fucking asshole. I don't know what the headline was. But he says, I saw in the news that she was talking to other guys. So I looked into it myself.
Hey.
So he did a little detective work.
He's like, let me research this.
Yeah. And he's retired. So he says, I actually got the transcripts and realized that she wasn't being faithful.
What?
Can you imagine?
He was like, look, I know she killed 2 kids and that's fine. They were her kids, but that's like, she was honest about that.
Exactly.
That's what the most important thing is here, honesty.
Of course, she wasn't honest about that. Initially, she blamed the black man.
That's
who
right.
she said stole her car and then drove it into a river. So I have no sympathy for her. I really despise this woman.
Yeah.
She's still breaking hearts,
Which is
taking
weird.
names. Very weird.
How was she able to get access to gentlemen prisoners?
She has conjugal visits.
With other prisoners? Or
No,
Oh,
with
this
these-
is just a guy.
This is just a dude.
Oh, this guy's a moron. What a loser. I was thinking it was a prisoner.
No,
it's like fans writing
Wow.
letters, making relationships with her via the mail, via the glass windows and the phone calls, and then she's allowed to fuck them for real.
Wow.
Yep,
I thought
yep.
I was your only visitor.
Exactly. And then it turns out, she's getting around.
That's why you got to check the sign-in sheet.
This one must have gotten her tubes tied.
Oh, well, God dang. She's 52 now, so I don't think she can get knocked up anymore.
Yeah. But when she went in 94, she was like, what, in her 30s?
No, she was only 22 years old. But again, to Kyle's point, she looks a fuck ton older than 22.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
These
she looks
kids-
gross.
The kids were stressing her out.
I want to see.
Let's be honest. Yeah, show Jerry. She'll have more of an understanding from a female perspective
I'm dead.
about the stress that this woman must have been going through.
What she used to look like, and that's what she looks like now.
Oh, wow.
Like,
Yeah, right?
Like a true prisoner beauty store.
Her hairline just filled right in.
It really did.
How did...
And her hair's purple. How is she able to dye her hair? What's going on?
Maybe it's Maybelline. Maybe it's double murder. So she was 22. She had a 3-year-old named Michael and a 14-month named Alexander.
Aw.
Strapped him in the car seat, sent him down in the lake, and then that sank to the bottom. And then again, she was like, it was a black guy. And then the whole
Wow.
media was, for days, no black man was safe in this country.
Yeah.
That happened in Boston, too.
Thank God she didn't get somebody killed.
Yeah.
Yeah, 9 days later, she finally confessed there was no carjacker, and then she drowned her kids in the lake. So anyway, her alleged motive, believe it or not, she was having an affair with a wealthy man that didn't want kids.
What
that was her
a
motive.
loser.
Yeah, she's like, I'm banging this really rich kid, but he doesn't want these this rich guy, but he doesn't want these 2 kids.
I wonder
Oh
what
my
he
God.
did after that. I wonder what he said. He was like, "Yeah, I was saying leave them in a firehouse. I didn't say
Right.
drown them.
Yeah.
Put them in the system."
Also, let's be honest, she's a psycho. He was probably just trying to break up with her for a reason that she would freak out. And he's like, well, there's no way she's going to kill her
So
kids.
true.
That's a good point.
Right. There's no way she'll choose me over her children. So I'm just being like, I can't do the kid thing.
Right.
That's my way out.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
Really, if I was those kids, I'd be like, just can you say you love us,
Yeah.
please? So anyway, she's facing 30 years, or she's in prison for 30 years. And this is what the suitor says. She always said she didn't want to ask for anything, but then she did. And then he said, but she'd give hints. She'd give some hints, being like, oh my, I need tampons, something like
Right.
that. And then he said, and she'd accept anything I'd give happily. So she was very happy to get stuff.
Yeah.
And then he says, I loved her, but I don't know if she loved me.
Oh, my God. Do we know what this guy looks like?
No, he wants to be anonymous.
Oh.
And then he says, even though she said so, I don't think she's capable of loving anybody but herself.
You think? Yeah.
I love when people have bleeding hearts for murderers.
I mean,
And then they're like, wait, they're not a good person.
Yeah. They're like, how could you do that to me?
maybe he thought she changed.
Richard Pryor had a great bit about that, saying when he went to prison, he's like, all these beautiful black men are in there. And he's like, I meet one of these prisoners, and I'm like, why did you kill everybody in the house? And he was like, because they were home.
Isn't that not horrifying?
I'm pretty sure that's what the stranger said at the end
Yeah.
of the movie.
That's true.
All right. Well, let's move on to a different story. This is kind of a celebrity story. And Macy Gray. She's back.
Macy
Yeah,
Gray.
she's back. And this is not a bad story for Macy Gray.
Try to say goodbye and not
Well, she's been acting for a while. She pops in and out of movies.
Oh, wow.
She's a fantastic person. She says she's found healing through cocaine, alcohol, marijuana, and pizza.
Bless up.
But then she does clarify, but no hippie shit.
Yeah, get that shit out of
What?
Yeah, no hippie shit.
So just don't play Pink Floyd while it's happening.
That's right. She's 56. Apparently, she's on the surreal life, which Be careful on those things. They just use you, abuse you. Look what they did to Vern Troyer, for crying out loud. That little guy was pissing everywhere, and they kept it all on camera.
All on a motorized scooter.
The surreal life still happens?
I guess.
I didn't know that.
I did not know that.
I know. So anyway, it's a celebrity surreal life. She participated in a group breathing exercise during a recent episode. But Gray, she says, I don't want to do this. And she told the cameras in a confessional segment, oh, God, I just don't do hippie shit. I live in L.A. That's hippie kingdom. If I'm healing, that's not how I do it. And I got to respect her. She's not sitting there trying to breathe. She wants to do drugs.
She's snorting.
Pass the cocaine and pizza.
And then, what a duo.
What a duo.
My
I didn't
God.
realize you got hungry for pizza after all of that.
I think you got to have the alcohol, then the cocaine. A couple of hours pass, then you smoke the marijuana, then you're like, oh, I haven't eaten. I need to eat some pizza.
Yeah.
But no hippie shit on there. That
But
means
no hippie shit. That means you do not light sage around me in this room.
Absolutely, and no mushrooms on your pizza. I feel like that's your hippier pizza.
Yeah, so true.
So she says, the producer then says, well, what do you do to find peace? And she says, oh, like cocaine and a couple of shots. And then she says, the singer added, get those edibles down my throat and I'm good, girl. Then order me a pizza. I'm straight. I don't need all that shit. I'm good.
Okay, it sounds like she was just saying like anything, and she was trying to be maybe even a little bit like straightforward enough that it sounds sarcastic, goes over to the other spectrum, and then it became a whole article.
I think it's fantastic. I'm
I
happy
think it's
for her.
awesome. Yeah.
You know, rarely do people come forward and just straight up confess, this is how I'm healing. Also, it's like, I'm not addicted. I'm addicted to self-help.
Right.
Self-medication.
I'm addicted to healing.
Right. So when
Yeah.
you put it like that, it's like, okay, well then don't stop doing cocaine. We don't want you to get sick.
Exactly.
So she ultimately sat down in one of the group breathing exercises, and then she was like, it was impossible for me to really get into it, which I understand. You know, sometimes you're just a little
Breathing?
self-conscious.
She was like, wait, you guys are just sitting here doing the air?
Yeah, with no smoke in it or pizza-related stuff.
Fucking weirdos.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So this season of the Surreal Life, God, what a cast of people I would never want to breathe around.
That is insane. Who's in there?
It's Chet Hanks. Remember Chet Hanks?
Big ups.
He's the son of Tom Hanks, the brother of Colin Hanks. I think it was Colin Hanks, isn't it?
Yeah.
And he thought he was black for a long time.
Yeah.
Because he was banging these black chicks from Jamaica or the Bahamas. And then he started, like, boom, baclat. He started saying stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and he was doing it for years.
Really?
Yeah, and then everyone's like, well, what's going on? He was the one who coined white boy summer.
Yes.
Oh, it was that guy.
It was that guy. And then he said, oh, it's been co-opted by racists, and I'm not one of the racists. I'm black.
Yeah.
Right.
So then there's also Kim Zolciak. I don't know who that is.
What the heck?
Tyler Posey. I don't know who that is. Jose Canseco.
Josie Canseco. I don't think it's Jose.
Oh, it's Joe. He named his daughter Josie, and he's Jose? My God. OT Genesis. No clue. Allie Brooke. And I do know this last guy, speaking of the Olympics, Johnny Weir.
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember Johnny Weir.
I remember Johnny Weir.
So again, to your point, I had no idea this show was on at all. So she talked about her experiences with substance abuse and mental health, telling People magazine in 2021, the latter topic is, quote, is very neglected and not just in this country, but I think globally. So she's talking about mental health in a way that we maybe don't need, but also isn't it good for the youth?
Is youth in LA for sure.
Yes, because the kids doing blow right now just be like Macy Gray, you know?
Thank you.
Thank
Doing
you.
my breathing exercises.
Yep.
Yeah.
She said at the time, your mother always tells you, be strong and you'll get through it. Don't cry. But it's been very debilitating and it's expensive to your mental health. So that's where I really want to help out as much as I can, especially with kids.
Oh,
Yeah. So she wants to help out with kids.
that's good.
Very
But she
nice.
doesn't want to. She doesn't want to impose her own self-care regimen to the kids, right?
Well, we don't know. We don't know.
We really don't.
Yes. Also, when it comes to women, this is what she says when it comes to a former Good Morning Britain presenter. She was asked, I guess, to define a woman, and she said, I would say a human being with boobs, you have to start there, and a vagina. So she's saying a vagina. A vagina.
Vagina.
And then she calls people who are changing their pronouns, they're getting confused, she says. So she's got a lot to say.
Wow.
To have a lot of thoughts. Well, I can
Yeah.
imagine that at a cocaine rate in your brain, you have a
Right.
lot to say in a very short amount of time.
Yeah,
You got to get it out.
Then she talks about gender surgery there. It's called gender affirmation. Affirmation?
Affirmation.
Affirmation.
She said, don't make you a woman. So look at that. She's all coked out of her mind and stoned and eating pizza.
Yeah.
And then just weighing in on topics that are super important. to
Not
people.
about her.
Right.
They're super not about her.
Yeah. She says, I got nothing but love for the LGBTQ plus and transgender community.
Yeah, that's what that sounded like.
Well, she's been a supporter, she said, since day one.
Oh,
When the gay was born.
right.
Yeah.
Supporter.
Well, we found out why she tries to walk away. She stumbles.
Oh, my. Well, she's high on cocaine.
Why wouldn't she?
I thought that was just interesting because she's just like saying it's all for the mental health.
Yeah.
And if you go to the doctor, I mean, they might disagree, but
Yeah.
Big Pharma killing more people than fentanyl.
True.
Don't do either, though, please. Lord Almighty.
Well, now I kind of want to watch The Surreal Life.
Yeah, me too.
Where does it play?
I have no idea. Where do you
gonna
find
find it.
MTV?
I don't-
What is MTV?
I don't know anymore. I didn't realize that was a thing. Well, I think if you have like a streaming channel with live television channels, you can catch some MTV stuff going on, right?
I don't know.
It's on Paramount Plus.
That's the one.
That's where all the
Yeah.
Viacom stuff is on. Yeah.
That makes sense. That's why I watched Daria from top to bottom.
Oh.
Yeah,
That's
remember
fun.
that. Remember Daria? It was Daria, Eon Flux,
Oh yeah, Liquid Television.
Liquid Television.
Yes.
That's when MTV was good, and then it stopped being good as soon as TRL started.
The Head.
Yeah.
The Head.
Max.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, there was so many good cartoons.
Beavis and
Beavis
Butthead.
and Butthead.
Yep. Ren and Stimpy, I believe, was on MTV for a while. We could just name shit
Yeah.
Yep.
all day long.
Yep.
Nostalgia.
Actually, we have time for 2 more stories.
Oh.
Let's do
So,
it.
This is an interesting one. The headline is "The Bush is Back." How celebs like Doja Cat and Julia Fox are bringing back pubic hair.
Oh.
I'm a fan. I'm
fine with it. I'm just bringing back is a weird way to say
Well, it's been gone.
it's been gone. It's just never grown at all.
Well,
It's just been trendy to not have it.
for a long frickin' time. I
Yeah.
feel like the anti-Bush has been going on. Speaking
Yeah.
of the Larry Nassers of the world and beach volleyball players of the world.
Wow.
I don't know who decided that Bush hair was all bad.
Well, I feel like there was a slight overcorrection because we went from all to none and then like way too much. I had a couple really bad experiences.
Well, you don't want to have fun down there, make it look like you're wearing a wig?
Yeah,
Get
Get a little braiding action going on.
Yeah.
I couldn't even find anything through it.
Well, you got to look, you got to go through, you got to peruse.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's part of the fun there. You get in there, you're like, oh, is it a man? Well, no.
Oh wow.
Never mind. A cock and ball. These are cock and balls in there. You know what I'm talking about?
What am I gonna find?
What's hiding in there?
So anyway, it's a hot new trend, and it's all about hair. It's harkening back to the age of natural pubic hair, which was the 70s. When the 70s, it was very in vogue to have a big old bush hair.
Yeah.
So at the 2024 Grammys, the Demons rapper, and I believe that's Doja Cat, arrived on the red carpet, and she basically just showed everyone her muff. And she was like, "Look at all this hair."
Really?
Sweet. Yeah.
Well, she's mentally unstable.
Well, we don't know.
She shaved her eyebrows and grew her bush out.
Well, okay. I bleached my eyebrows during COVID. I don't know.
Everyone does stuff with their eyebrows. It's all right.
It's
Maybe
fine.
when she shaved her eyebrows, it just grew her bush hair.
Oh, that's how that works.
She put like a growth stopper on her brows, and so it just like went out the bottom.
Yeah.
Right. And a lot of people love Doja Cat.
I love Doja Cat.
Okay. And I don't know enough about her to have any opinion other than that, too.
Well,
I like
she
her
gets
music.
I like her music. She gets a lot of media attention because she makes all of these outrageous decisions lately. Like no one was with her cutting off all her hair.
Yeah.
And she
Right.
bleached it. Everyone was like, "Oh my god!" But it's like she just does whatever she wants.
Well, she was wearing new body art and a nipple-bearing bodice.
Ooh.
Bodice? I don't know what the hell that means.
Nipple wearing bodice.
Yeah. And then there was a bush, and the bush hair was visible through her fabric. So months later, Julia Fox, now I don't know Julia Fox at all.
She's annoying. Uncut Gems.
Is she from Uncut Gems?
Yeah, she's the hot chick from Uncut Gems.
Is she?
And then she got like a huge ego and now doesn't work anymore because people can't stand her.
Oh.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I haven't seen her since.
Yeah, she was like, I was the Safdie's muse on Uncut Gems.
Oh, yeah, that is so. Personality still trumps physical beauty.
Yeah.
It really does. Just be cool.
It really does.
Be a nice person.
I hate the whole number system, but let's just use it for this case.
Yeah.
If you were like, whatever, you're a little frumped out, but you're like super fun, super cool, you're a 9. Even if
Hell yeah.
they'll be like, oh, you're a 5. Which again, I hate that stupid fucking bullshit. But anyway, Julia
really
Fox, every time she talks, I'm like less and less physically attracted.
Yeah.
Which again, not like she wants to fuck me anyway, but who cares? She was wearing a bikini, right? And then all of a sudden, her bush is everywhere, and it's fallen out of her pants and stuff like that. And so I do think it's interesting that they're wearing the same outfits that one would wear if they had shaven, but they're not shaving, so then you can really see it exposed. This is what she says. She says the full bush is making a comeback. Well, that's actually according to multiple salon owners, so they would know.
Oh.
Yeah, they say the full bush is making a comeback with more women requesting bikini waxes and minor cleanups of the pubic region instead of opting for the full shave. This is according to Rachel Gibson, known as the hair historian.
The historian of hair? Did we need someone to be documenting the history of hair?
The bun.
Right.
The Rachel.
Right. The Jerry curl.
The Jerry curl.
Yeah.
The mohawk, the mole.
Now they're growing out the W.
Absolutely.
The bush.
Not the
The
wow.
bush.
I
George
don't want-
W.
Yeah.
All right, let's not bring. Oh, I
I
see.
feel like
Bush.
No,
You're getting
that's
political.
what he did. Yeah, no, I don't. I feel like women don't want that representation going along
Right.
with their goods.
That's the real axis of evil. Her pussy or ass in her mouth.
I feel like you're gonna throw a shoe at me.
Whoa, that was kind of funny. Wasn't it?
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
But he did dodge it.
He did.
Rachel Gibson, again, the hair historian, she says, people all over the globe have chosen to remove, groom, or otherwise tend to their pubic hair for thousands of years.
Yeah. Well.
Thousands.
Yeah. It's been happening.
Would you do thousands? You get a goat to gnaw it off? What do you even do? I don't know how people survived back in the day. And then she says, it's really a symbol of class and status.
Oh, come on.
That's what she said.
I hate that.
It's class and status.
No, it's just personal preference.
Well, that's why I'm a working man's hero. That I like to sleep and, I'm alone all the time. So my bush hair says, look at this guy. Wow, what a hard worker he is. He doesn't even care about his bush hair.
Right.
And it's also red, which means it's see-through, which is absolutely disgusting.
That's not.
Yeah, well, I don't know about all that. So anyway, further cementing the trend, luxury fashion house Mason Margiela, they made a case for the bush in the spring/summer 2024 runway this year. The hair display was a far cry from the recent heyday of the Brazilian wax and the laser hair removal popularized in the 1990s and early aughts.
Yes, and so European Wax Center was born and exploded.
That's the thing. That's why you can't be following all these trends.
Yeah, it's
you
not
never
like
know.
it's not a beard. I feel like that's saying that like women like to play around with the hair down there, like as if it's like hairstyles. It's like no, I think pretty much everyone sticks to their own personal preference of like their maintenance of just how they want to go about it.
You can make little dolls out of it.
Right, like when no one's sitting there with spiked glue, turning it into a mohawk, trying to figure out which way they want it to point.
No one.
No one.
No one.
No one.
Comment, please.
Yeah.
Someone doesn't feel seen right now as they're perusing their pubic hair, being like, what should I name it?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think there are girls out there that just say like, oh, shaving is misogynistic because you're just doing it for a man. It's just like, no, you're just lazy and you just want to grow it out.
Hot takes.
Yeah.
You just want to grow it out.
I do agree with the argument, though, if a guy's just like, I want to look like a baby. I'm like, that's fucking weird.
That's always a weird thing for men to say that when
It
they're
looks
like,
like a
I want to know that it's an adult, and it's like, trust me, if you're having sex with like I don't know, like a 30-year-old vagina, you're probably gonna notice that it's a 30-year-old vagina, whether it's been waxed.
Yeah,
or
it's gonna have
not.
that smell.
It's gonna come with a W-2 form.
Well, kind of looks like a turkey a little bit there.
Oh my God.
Gobble, gobble.
Exactly.
So-
but that's what I'm saying is you're gonna note that.
Right. Well, that's true. That's true. I feel like I'm defending the 70s here, which may have
You
been
are.
a time
No,
where I would
I'm
have
totally
been more
fine.
successful.
I'm totally fine with everyone. I just don't think it's like a trend and a style that women are like going after. I think everyone just has a personal preference.
Yeah.
I just wish we were talking about asshole hair. That would be much more fascinating.
Definitely up
Not a
your
fan.
alley.
Yeah,
Yeah.
indeed. That's a dark alley, my friend. So Gibson explained, historically, when more of the body is on display, there's more of a feeling that any visible hair should be removed. So all of a sudden, in the start of the 20th century, when hemline rows and sleeveless garments became very popular, women are just shaving off everything because they say they don't want unsightly body hair. But I don't know. From pits to pubes, she says. Which is like, great. That's my autobiography.
Yeah.
From pits to pubes.
That's the memoir.
But I don't even mind it. I don't mind hair. I think hair is kind of fun. Maybe it's the Sasquatch in me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Armpit hair, you're cool with?
I don't care.
Wow.
I literally don't give a shit.
I kind of don't care either.
If it's super gnarly, then it'd be like, oh no. But no, I don't. Because like, how often are you looking at their armpits?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not really licking them or anything. I don't know.
Unless I'm Homer disappearing into the bushes, I'm pretty fine with whatever choice you want to make down there.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So according to sex columnist Gigi Savage, they say, I just wish I'd still have a strip or a triangle or something because they did a thing where they just straight up waxed it to the point where it doesn't grow back.
Like lasering.
She says just something I could style or dye cool colors.
Technically, you can. Although it must be really hard to strip the colors down there. It's such coarse hairs. It's all usually dark.
But I think this sex columnist
Lot
did
of
something
toner.
where it's never coming back. A lot of toner. Lot of toner. But yeah, this for Gigi Savage, it's never coming back. So
Wow.
That's not true. It's probably coming back in small like patches, and then she just still has to get. It's not coming in as much.
Jerry, you don't know anything about vagina bush.
Yeah, I
Because
guess
according
not.
to doctors and salons, they're offering treatments that could potentially help regrow the hair down there.
Oh.
New York City hair restoration surgeon Dr. Gary Linkov. You know you want to go to Linkov.
Gary.
He says he's working with a bunch of chicks giving them minoxidil or microneedling to restore the hair, but he says it's usually futile.
Ooh.
Like
Like they're about to blow up the Klingons or something. Like, no, this is futile, you crazy
The
bastard.
resistance.
Yeah. I'll tell you one thing, Peggy, we can try, but it's pretty futile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd see the day where women are putting Rogaine on their vaginas.
literally, like they're worried about their vaginal receded hairlines.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're sick of doing the comb over.
Right. Can I have the Trump, please? Can I do the Trump? But you know how men, they'll go to Turkey to get their hair transplants?
Yeah.
Evidently, there's a new thing called pubic hair transplants. This is true, and the practice involves, quote, involves taking hair from the back of the head and transplanting the grafts into your pubic area.
Oh, man.
So,
And again, why aren't they growing hair down
because
there?
they did a thing that made it never grow back again.
That's
They yelled at it all mean. Yes,
I ran away.
something happened. This is according to Jessica D'Afino. She's the founder of the Review of Beauty. She said that a majority of women are choosing to keep their pubic hair. She goes on, they'll do a cleanup on the sides, but a lot of people were proud to be sporting a nearly full bush on top, which I think is pretty different from what we've seen in beauty coverage. Then she says there's a huge gap between expectations set by beauty media and what's actually happening out there in the real world.
yeah, that makes complete sense.
So bushes are back.
Because Doja Cat comes out in a sheer dress one day with full bush, and you think everyone's doing full bush now.
Right.
And it's like, no, I think she just felt like growing it out in that point of time.
It's very difficult out there to, these beauty standards, which I will say are not made by straight men. Okay.
Yeah.
You think so?
They're not, straight men don't care.
No.
I don't,
Yeah,
I've never thought about eyebrows. I mean,
Yeah.
because back in the 90s, they're like, don't have them.
Girls don't know how to do eyebrows.
And
That's not that girls listen to other girls about their eyebrows and they don't know what they're talking about.
Usually, yeah.
Yeah.
Usually girls have a crazy idea.
Either way too thin or they look like juggalo makeup. Like
Just
way too
leaving
thick.
them,
Yeah.
leave them where it lies.
Oh, some
Yeah.
girls shave them fully off. Some
Yeah.
girls are like, I don't like where my eyebrows are placed, so I'm going to shave them, and then I'm going to put them somewhere else on my forehead.
Yeah, one of my aunts shaved off her eyebrows and then just did a pencil eyebrow.
Yeah, some people will do that too. They'll like tattoo it on.
Yeah.
Right.
Very odd.
All right. Well, to the last story there, a modern day miracle man. This is kind of a fun story, but not really. So he's 30 years old. He woke up from a 244-day-old coma, right? He was in a coma for 244 days.
Now he's got a bush.
Oh, for sure.
Oh my God.
Unless you wake up without one.
Oh, man.
Someone's been manscaping
Who's
for
been
him.
shaving me?
I'd be like, all right, every nurse come in here. Let me check your teeth. Who's been fucking gnawing off my bush hair? So this dude, he was 30. He was in a coma for 244 days. And he was like, whoa, this is awesome. The doctors even wanted to harvest his organs. But he ended up waking up. And then you know what happened? He got hit by a pickup truck and died.
What?
That's it's not
Not
funny.
funny.
It's not
Oh
funny.
my
It's not funny.
Yeah, but isn't that interesting? So Drew Cohn, he was just 2 days from his 23rd birthday in 2017. He got hit by a motorcycle. Then he went into a coma. But then he woke up 8 months later. And then it turns out that he got killed. So his mother, Yolanda, says they would have harvested his organs. It was because of my faith that gave me the boldness to speak up and push back and let them know you're not getting a toenail or an eyelash, not to mention pubes.
Yeah. Well, now they're smeared all over the driveway.
Very sad.
No.
So she said her son was brain dead at one point, but she wouldn't give up hope. So he was sent home, still in a coma, and then his mom prayed a bunch, and then he woke up, and then, he got hit by a truck.
Jeez.
Why did she let him get hit by a truck?
Well, he was doing a lot of rehab. He was dubbed again a modern-day miracle, and then it came to a heart-wrenching end this past Friday when Drew was hit by a pickup truck while walking on Collins Road in Jacksonville around 5:30 in the morning.
Oh my God.
So he was just
He was walking around at 5:30 in the morning.
Hey, you're allowed to. It's a free country.
It is.
It's a free
Ish.
country. The driver told cops he didn't see Drew, and he pulled over and called 911. He was like, "I hit this guy," and so that's kind of sad.
It's so weird that Dwayne Haskins got killed when he was walking along the highway in Florida. He was the quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh yeah.
Last year, a girl I went to high school with got killed walking down the street in Florida. This is just what happens in Florida.
I guess
It's so weird.
That's
And I'm looking at a picture of him. He's smiling. He really did make almost a full recovery.
How long was he out of the hospital for?
A little bit, probably. So he was 23. So a couple years.
Okay.
Out.
Okay.
So he did have some more time. So he had a little bit of a longer life.
Well, that's good.
So that's good anyway. It's just what a sad turn of events. You know, you really dodged a bullet there, but you didn't dodge the truck.
Oof.
yeah.
Yeah. So
And they're both, and when he went in the first time, it was also a vehicle-related injury. Like,
Yeah.
kind of fucked.
Yeah, he was hit by a motorcycle.
Yeah.
That
Right.
is usually the motorcyclist dies.
yeah, death had a plan. And he's like, you got me. I didn't get you that time, but I'll get you.
Yeah.
You human being.
Yeah, Dante Stallworth, he was a Patriots wide receiver. He ran over a pedestrian in Florida after drinking tequila. It's just, this happens.
And of course, when it comes to death and entertainment, Kyle's show with Alejandro,
Hey.
they're covering Tony Stewart on an episode soon to be released, who also hit a man in his
Oh.
car and killed him. So anyway, Bush is back. Pedals are in the Olympics. Macy Gray looks cocaine and pizza.
Hey.
Kind
And
of
Susan
world.
Smith, you can't trust her.
Susan Smith, you can't stop her.
You really can't. She's gonna fuck. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Ben Kissel channel. Thank you so much for watching on YouTube as well, and thank you for Kyle and Alejandro for helping with the new setup. Thank you, boys, very much.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. We'll talk to you soon. Hail yourself. Bye.
Bye.